Get up in here before I start talking. I know a lot of people are probably enjoying their Ishtar right now, so I know a lot of people might not tune in, but I'm just going to share a little bit about what Ishtar, Easter, is really about. So yeah, a lot of people celebrate Easter. They call today Easter. And I remember being a kid and my family was Christian. So, half the story is it's about Jesus and his resurrection. The other half you're getting told is about the fucking Easter bunny and the egg. I'm like, well, which one is it? As a kid, I'm like, well, which one is it? Where the hell does the Easter bunny and the egg come from? And so when you do your ancient history, these things the dots start to connect, and these things start to become very clear. Originally Easter is a pagan, Babylonian, Mesopotamian holiday that was originally called Ishtar. And it was actually about celebrating the divine feminine, sex and fertility. And the Anunnaki goddess Ishtar, who also can be interpreted as Isis and represents Sirius. And, Ishtar was basically known as the rabbit goddess. She was like, her symbols were the egg and the rabbit ears. And the rabbit represents sex and the egg represents fertility. And she was also the goddess of the moon. And in the ancient times, the moon was symbolic of an egg. It's now interesting because scientifically we've now proven, and we now know that women's menstrual cycles are actually synced with the lunar cycles. So the lunar cycles are the menstrual cycles are the lunar cycles, and they're literally synced up. And so that's why the moon was symbolically as an egg. Now, Ishtar was also a goddess of the water. Well, and she was like a mermaid. She was, one of her forms was like being a mermaid. Okay. Well, she's goddess of the moon, and the moon controls the water. Well, then now you understand why she's goddess of the water, because if she controls the moon, then she controls the water. And these Anunnaki beings, which is basically like a galactic mob, a galactic cartel, the galactic Illuminati, they've been on the moon for thousands of years, governing us, shepherding us. And so it's kind of interesting, because it used to be about the divine feminine, sex, fertility. That's where you get the Easter bunny and the egg. But now they'll tell you it's about Jesus and his resurrection. Well, Ishtar's brother was named Ea. His name was Prince Ea, aka Enki, or Enki, aka Prince Ea, EA, like EA Sports in the game, or like Earth, EARTH. Yeah, Enki means Lord of the Earth. And so when you have Prince Ea, well, the EA in Earth is named after him, because the Earth is literally named after Enki. So now when you put the EA in Easter, that was actually it switching over from celebrating divine feminine, sex and fertility, and they switched to actually worshiping her brother Ea, aka Easter. And so this is actually where you get that. So that's why it switched from the Easter bunny, the egg, Ishtar, the divine feminine, sex and fertility, then it switched over to a masculine thing and about Jesus' resurrection, but it's actually more so talking about Prince Ea, aka Enki. And so that's why you have Easter, EA, that's why you have Earth, EA, and there's many other EAs. And same with Christmas. Christmas was actually about celebrating the Saturnalia. Christmas was originally called Saturnalia and was about celebrating Saturn in the black box, the black cube, the tesseract that's in the North Pole in the center, all the way out through the South Pole of it. So when you're talking about Easter, Easter originally comes from Ishtar. Ishtar is actually Isis. When you're talking about Ishtar, you're talking about Sirius. And so originally Easter was called Ishtar, and it was about celebrating the divine feminine, sex and fertility, and her Ishtar's symbols were the egg and the Easter bunny. which represents sex and fertility. And so this is where you get the Easter bunny and the egg. And so I was always wondering this since I was a kid. My parents were Christians, so they're like, oh, it's about Jesus and his resurrection. But then at the same time, they're telling you about this Easter bunny and the egg. I'm like, well, what the hell do the Easter bunny and the egg have to do with Jesus and his resurrection? It makes no sense, but it's because there's a two-way thing here. It used to be about the egg and the bunny being symbolic for sex and fertility and worshiping the moon and the divine feminine. Now, like I said, it was switched over to worshiping her brother Prince Enki, Prince Ea, and that's why it's now not called Ishtar. It's called Easter, E-A-S-T-R. Now it's called Easter because now it's about worshiping Enki, and was switched over to the masculine. And it's interesting because, there's songs that say, oh, this is a man's world, like James Brown. People think it's a man's world. No, it's not. It's called Mother Nature. The reason you think it's a man's world is because we're in a masculine system. We're in an alpha system. So the false matrix, the artificial matrix that we're living inside of, the system, the government, the construct, that is the man's world. But the actual world, the actual reality, the actual natural nature is actually a feminine matrix. And this is where you get the word matrix, because the word matrix comes from the word matriarchy. And the word matriarchy comes from the word matra, which means mother. And matriarchy is the opposite of a patriarchy. A patriarchy is a male-dominant government. A matriarchy is a female-dominant government. So if you've ever seen Wonder Woman and Amazonians, you see that was a matriarchy. That was a female-dominant government. All they had was women running the show. And all they had was women in actually their dimension. And so that was a matriarchy. So we have the matra, the matriarchy, the matrix. Okay, well, what is the matrix? The matrix is the mind. Okay? But where did you get your mind from? Your DNA. But where did you get your DNA from? Your mother's womb. So the actual matrix is your mother's womb. So then, all this stuff goes back to the Anunnaki. Because, when your spirit came into your mother's womb, that's when your mom and dad's DNA started to form a 3D avatar around your spirit. And then when you were born, your spirit is now filtering the reality through the pre-programmed DNA that already has all this ancestral trauma, ancestral fears, ancestral gifts, ancestral beliefs. And you're seeing everything through a very biased view. Now, like I said, I remember being a blue being. So it's like, I am an indigo light being. I'm an indigo who volunteered to play a character named Third Eye in a movie called Earth. And now when you go into the womb and you take on the DNA, you're taking on the script and identity, which is actually the mind pattern that was programmed in there from your mother when you were in the womb. Because govern, like I said, matriarchy is a female-dominant government. Well, govern means guide, ment means mental. So government means guide your mental, which is like steer your mental, drive your mental, control your mental. Okay, well, who was governing your mental when you were in your mother's womb? Your mother. So your mother was actually wiring your brain, was actually wiring your mind pattern. So this is where you get the matriarchy, the matrix of your mother's womb was the mothership that your motherboard was programmed by. So your motherboard came from your mothership, which was your mother's womb, which is the matrix, the matriarchy, the matra. Are you with me? Now, if you go back now that we understand that, we can get back to the egg. Now, it's interesting because as far as the Jewish religion goes and Jews go, they do not consider you a real Jew unless you're Jewish on your mother's side. Unless you have Jewish blood from your mother, they don't consider you a real Jew. The Jewish bloodline has to come from your mother. And there's a deep reason for this. Because your mother, her eggs, okay, so this is a really weird fact, but everyone's grandmother, I don't know if any of you have heard the tale of Grandmother Spider. I'm actually take it back and then bring it down. But if you've ever heard the tale of Grandmother Spider, the ancient tale, it's basically that there is a grandmother spider, a spider goddess that's sitting at the center of our galaxy, right near the galactic center. It's weaving the galactic web. It's weaving the mind web. It's weaving the time web. of our galaxy. So there's a deeper, more interdimensional fractal manifestation of this. And what it is if you're a woman in here right now, if you're a woman, well, I don't know if you knew this, but your eggs, your mother's eggs and your grandmother's eggs were in your grandmother. So your grandmother was carrying her eggs, your mother's eggs, and your eggs inside her. So your grandmother, the eggs, end up being the womb that you're inside of. That womb that you're inside of ends up being a morphogenetic field that molds and programs your mind pattern, your mind web, your mind field. When you're, so the grandmother really is responsible for programming the mind pattern, the morphogenetic field for the next 3 generations. So this is also part of where you get the tale of grandmother spider, because everyone's grandmother is grandmother spider. So yeah, all comes back down to a matrix, because in nature, it's Mother Nature, mothership, the motherboard, the matrix, the matriarchy, the matra. So we live actually in a feminine universe, because the women's are the receivers, the man is the woman is the negative, the man is the positive. The man is the giver, the seeder, the woman is the receiver. The man is the seed, the woman is the soil. Well, you can't have a seed without having space. You can't have anything without having space. And women create the space. They hold the space for the man to move into. And so when you look at space, like outer space, inner space, when you look at space, well, before anything was able to be created, there first had to be space for things to be created in. So then you realize, well, the mother is actually the space. And the space is actually the womb of all that is, which is a black hole, white hole singularity. And so so before a seed could be planted, there had to be space. Before a child could be planted in a womb, there had to be a womb. Before a seed could be planted, there had to be soil for the seed to be planted into, for it to have an environment, for it to root itself into and grow into. And this is part of what I'm talking about when I share about understanding. The difference between, they want you to understand. Well, if you understand something, I don't mean you comprehend it. That means you're standing under it. If you understand it, you're standing under it, which means the information is going over your head. So when you really start to comprehend something, connect the dots, you start to dive within yourself and process it within. You start to understand it and connect the dots. And after years and years of mastering, measuring the longitude, latitude, width, depth, circumference of it, and you master it and you get it down, then you pop up above it and you overstand it. Now Jack's out the box. Now the genie's out the lamp. Now the cat's out the bag. Now the ghost is out the shell. You understand what I'm saying? So ascension essentially is really about untangling and reverse engineering the programming of your mother's womb. And reversing the polarity of your Merkaba field, turning your field inside out from black hole to a white hole system. From a consumer of reality, becoming a product of your environment, to then folding your field outward and being a creator of your reality, a generator of your reality, a fucking transformer of your reality. And just where you walk, your presence alone starts to change the atmosphere. Your presence alone starts to trigger low vibrational things and low vibrational people. Your presence alone starts to change the weather. Well, there is no... The gods aren't gods. They're Anunnaki, and the Anunnaki came down here, had sex with us, and created a hybrid bloodline of red-haired giants and more. So the Anunnaki, they're not gods. They have blood and flesh like me and you, and they have sex like me and you. They're just like us in the future when we master ourself. And so there is no gods. The only true God is all that is. All that is God. All that is consciousness. All that is spirit. All that is breath. So everything that is God. And you are everything that is. So you are God. And when I say you are God, I'm not necessarily as much talking about your temple, your body. I'm more so talking about your spirit. Because your spirit is the spirit. Inside this body experiences itself as a fractal from a fractal perspective, creating a symbiotic biofeedback loop back to source of information. But in this body, you experience life as a fractal. But soon as you're out of the body, soon as you're in the spirit, you realize that you're already omnipresent. You're already omnidirectional, and you're already all that is. So I say this all the time, but I think that we can't hear this enough. And for people who haven't heard me say this, if everywhere is within you, are you already everywhere? If the whole universe is within you, are you within the whole universe? Yes. Because you are actually a black hole singularity. Like I said, you got your DNA from your mother. Well, guess what? Your mother's DNA came from her blood. But her blood is made of iron, metal, mercury, nitrogen, hydrogen, calcium. Okay, isn't that what our sun's made of? So let me get this straight. Your blood is made of atoms that are made of iron, metal, mercury, nitrogen, hydrogen, calcium. And the sun is made of atoms that's made of iron, metal, mercury, nitrogen, hydrogen, calcium. And we have a red sun, we have red blood. Maybe the sun is the mother's womb. On a multi-dimensional level, the sun is the mother's womb that the souls are portaling into this solar system, into the planet through. It's the star gate. It's the solar gate. With the solar wind. And so, with the soul, lunar plexus, it's the soul. Soul star. So basically, your DNA was 3D printed out of the morphogenetic field and chemistry of our sun. So you are a walking, talking star. But when I don't want to give too much. I'll say this, when you understand, I don't want to give too much because then people don't value it as much. When you have to dig for it and you go get the gems and you unbury the treasure chest yourself and you get the gems yourself, you value it more and it sticks more. So I don't want to give out too much. But all I say is once you understand what the interdimensional plane actually is, and once you understand the true nature of the interdimensional realm, then you understand who, what, where, and why you are. Because what we're talking about is a black hole. You know, physicists talk about black holes. And they act like you just go inside this thing and get swallowed up in it and it's just a dead end. Well, I don't know about you, but when I look around in nature, in the universe, there is no dead ends. It's all in and out. That's how energy flows. Energy goes in and it goes out. It goes out and it comes back in. So that's the breath itself. I'm breathing energy in. It doesn't just stop and then I fucking choke and die right here, y'all. Whew, I breathe it out. So if you go inside a black hole, it's going to inhale you, but it's going to exhale you, okay? It's going to, it's going to receive you. It's going to receive you, but then it's going to project you. And so, it's crazy because I remember when I first woke up, I couldn't break it down and put it into words, but one of the first downloads I got is I was telling my friend, I was like, this might sound crazy and completely illogical, but I understand, and I can't prove this right now and back it, but everything is everything. Then I realized, everything is everything because everything is in everything. You are in everything, but everything is in you. Consciousness is in you, but consciousness is in everything. The spirit is in you, but the spirit is in everything. So, in this body, in the lamp, your genie gets a lid put on it, and the genie gets stuck in the lamp so long, it forgets it's the genie and starts to think it's the lamp. It forgets it's Jack and starts to think it's the box. And I know I talk about this a lot, but there's new people in here, and there's always, people need to hear this over and over again, because until we understand this, we really don't understand nothing. And because, so it's like, so when you get stuck in the body, you think all that you are is the body, and all that is the reality that you see out of your eyes. But once you first awaken and that ego cracks, what's the first thing that most of us realize? We're not the body. Silly rabbit. Tricks are for kids. We're not the body. We're the spirit. We're not the ghost. we're we're not the shell, we're the ghost. We're not the lamp, we're the genie. We're not the box, we're the jack. We're not the bag, we're the cat. Well, if I am consciousness, and consciousness flows through all that is, am I flowing through all that is right now? Yes. Unity consciousness, yes. So, now here's the thing. What if I told you, okay, so let's say Andromeda, I forget how many light years away, but it's a lot of light years away, but let's say Andromeda, I'm going to just put a random number out there. Let's say Andromeda is 10 trillion light years away. But let's say that there's a black hole singularity somewhere close by. Well, when you understand what a black hole singularity is, you understand that a black hole has the ability to warp and compress all of time and space within a bubble, a particle that could be the size of an atom or smaller, even quantum. So if a black hole that's right next, say there's a black hole right here, right next to me. If this black hole right next to me already has Andromeda in it, should I go travel out the atmosphere and try to travel for 10,000 light years to Andromeda? Or should I hop inside this black hole singularity right now and fold inside of it and unfold an Andromeda? Because that's what you realize is that when you understand what a black hole is, it has the ability to compress all time and space within it. And that's what your eyeball is. Have you ever stargazed? If you've ever stargazed at night, you are looking at light years of information across the sky. You're looking across the galaxy. Well, guess what? The only reason you can see that galaxy and all that light years of information is because the black hole singularity in the center of your eye has the ability to take all this light and all this energy and information and compress it down into your eye, then project it onto your brain. Then your brain decodes it and flips it right side up through the bias filter of your own belief systems, your own level of awareness and depth, and projects it out. And you can only see the depth in something that you have within yourself, and that's why it's called your outlook on life. Are you with me? Are y'all with me? So, then you realize, wait, I don't see with my eyes, I see with my mind. And if I see with my mind, I see with my mind's eye, but my mind's eye sees through the bias filter of my own belief systems and level of awareness. Which then means it's a scientific fact that everything is a projection and reflection of our perception. And if everything you are experiencing is a reflection and projection of your own perception, then you are trapped inside of a hologram that's being a hologram that's being projected by your own subconscious mind. It's creating the simulation around you. Because you're not experiencing reality as it is, you're experiencing it as you are. You're not experiencing reality as it is, you're experiencing reality as you interpret it. You're not experiencing me as I am, you're experiencing me as you interpret me. You understand? Every single person in here, okay, every single person that knows you, your mother, your father, your best friend, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whoever, guess what? Not one of those people see you the same. Your mother sees you through the lens of her interpretation of her emotions towards you, her attachment towards you, her memories towards you. Your dad sees you according to his memories and his interpretation of you and who he thinks you should be. Your friends see you through their interpretation and their judgments of you. So guess what? No one sees you as you are. They see you as they are. They see you as they interpret you. So guess what? There's not one person on the planet that views you the exact same way. So no one actually sees you. They see themselves in you because they're projecting, reflecting off of you and using you as a mirror. Now, if it's true that no one sees you the same and interprets you as you are, but as they interpret you, well, guess what? That's reality. No one interprets reality exactly the same. Everyone is experiencing their self through reality, using the reality as a mirror to project what's inside them, outside them, and back at them so they can analyze what's really going on inside their inner world. Exactly, a different version of you, a different hologram of you exists in everyone's mind. Exactly. All right, I'm going to go through and answer some questions here. But if y'all are just coming in, tune into this live stream because I was just sharing about the true origins of Ishtar, Easter, and Prince Ea and how it got changed from a feminine thing, masculine thing. You know what? Before I answer some questions, I'll break down that last thing. I'll break down that last thing before I answer questions. The moon is not. I don't care what nobody says. The moon is not real. It's artificial. They shot a missile at it. It rang like a bell for 3 days. They carbon dated the rocks on it. It's older than the Earth itself, which means it didn't originate. Wasn't originally the Earth's moon, and it doesn't spin. It's the only thing in the universe that don't show its backside. That does not spin. You know the saying, "Don't let your left know what your right doing." You know, we talk about dark operation, like black ops, black operations, like black projects, like classified programs. Well, if I want to keep something from humanity and not let the earth know, if I'm the government and I want to keep something from humanity, I don't want to let the earth know what's really going on, where should I set up a program? Maybe the dark side of the moon, because they'll never see the daylight of that shit. Now, this is going to get kind of deep, but the moon is the Death Star. I came in knowing this at 5 years old. I was trying to tell my mom this. I believe that if anyone knows about the Orion, Draconian, Lyrian Wars, I believe that the moon was originally a natural moon that was either somewhere around Ursa Major and Arcturus or Orion. And I believe that originally it was a natural moon they were using for an outpost in a war that was taking place in Orion. But over millions of years, they ended up carving it out on the inside, hollowing it out, putting an anti-gravity engine in it, and basically turning it into a Death Star battleship that they used for their war. And they went through multiple constellations of star system and destroyed multiple planets and terrorized multiple different species. Now, you know, I believe they brought it first over to Lyra, and from Lyra they kind of over to our solar system. We got caught in the crossfires of it. So, you know, there's ancient record of our ancestors recording there not being a moon in the sky when there didn't used to be a moon in our sky. And then now there is a moon in the sky. It was they recorded it being brought into our atmosphere, or brought into our orbit and parked in it, and it starts orbiting. So, you know, I believe it's a Death Star. I believe it's a battleship. And guess what? They, on a morphogenetic level, they cymatically synced. They use it as a weapon, as a scalar weapon, to synchronize the moon with the Earth's field and get the moon to control the Earth's waves. Well, the Earth is made of mainly water. So if the moon controls the tides, the moon controls the Earth. Well, guess what? Your body's made of mainly water, and your blood's made of mainly water. So I wonder why your menstrual cycles are synced to the lunar cycles. No wonder. But then when you realize this, you go, oh wait, is that the soul trap? Is that what's creating the white light? Oh, go to the white light. No, don't go to the white light. Don't go to white light. That's the reincarnation loop. That's the soul trap created by the moon, because the moon is acting as a false star, a fallen star, an artificial star, a death star. And it's controlling fertility. It's controlling the amount of beings that are allowed to be birthed into the planet at a time. It's controlling the population. It's controlling the mind. And it's also affecting our natural organic timeline, because time is all wheels within wheels, like the inside of the clock, like gears within gears turning each other. Because we base time off how the Earth goes around the sun goes around the galaxy, and the galaxy goes around the universe. So it's all wheels within wheels like a clock. So if I want to put a hexagon, 666, a hexagon on someone, which is actually saying I'll put you in a time loop, well, I need to jam something between the gears so the clock's stuck like this. The clock can't keep evolving. It can't move forward. It's stuck. It's like this. It's jammed. Something's jammed between the wheels. Well, if we base time off of how the Earth naturally, the speed that the Earth naturally accelerates, the momentum it naturally goes around the sun, now all of a sudden the moon comes in and starts playing tug of war with the Earth, with the sun. Well, guess what? Now we're being slowed down. The moon is jammed between the wheels, and we're not even going around the sun at the natural momentum and acceleration and speed that we would naturally go to, which means we're not even on our natural timeline. But not just on that level has it hijacked our timeline. It's a Saturn moon matrix, and it's a satellite. It's a satellite, and you're living inside of a fucking satellite TV. The moon is a satellite, and it's using the earth like a satellite TV. So there's an artificial matrix. That's the one we're trying to break out of. Then there's the real matrix, the natural matrix, the mother matrix, the mother nature, the mother natural. There's a natural organic matrix, because the definition of matrix is construct. So construction, constructing something, building, architecture. That's the internet is a matrix. It was a construct, and it had nothing on it, and then people connected to it and start interfacing with it and start uploading their information and consciousness and who they are and their expression, their creative, their art into it. And now they set up a construct for us to be able to upload our consciousness into, which is not good. That's how you create artificial intelligence. But we're not going to go into that right now. So the moon has kind of hijacked the fertility, and it's acting, like I said, how the sun is actually the womb that our souls are portaling through into the planet. Well, the moon's kind of hijacked that, and now some souls are coming through the moon. And they're getting programmed with an artificial frequency that has a sine wave on it that's actually locking down your DNA, and you come out with amnesia, and you come out not being able to, without some of your abilities. But some of us come in so charged with that lightning bolt, with that thunder, with that Thor's hammer. When we hit that egg, it don't even matter, because we came in striking so strong. We remember we have the recall. We still have the ability. Some of us can fucking pierce through the veil. And those are called indigos. So now, before I get off of this, I'm going to answer some questions. There was one I seen back. Are the Anunnaki coming to save us? Who asked that? Are you still in here? I'm trying to remember. I remember somebody asking that a second ago. Let me go back and try to figure out who it was. Yeah, Caesar, you know what's up. Yeah, we're ant farm to them. Yeah, this is a hive mind to them. You know, if you're still in here, the Anunnaki are not coming to save us. They're not our saviors, and they ain't coming down on a white horse. We're the saviors. We're the ones coming back on the white horse. We're the miracle we have all been waiting for. And religion creates a reverse psychology where they trap you into being a disempowered being. Like, you're not powerful enough to change the world. Like, you're not powerful enough to make a difference. So I'm going to just sit here and keep being a good slave and walk in the line, in the shackles, until some white guy comes down from the sky on a white horse. Sorry to tell you, bro, that's some 2,000-year-old way of thinking. We know there's spaceships now. So if someone comes down from the sky, I'm pretty sure it's going to be in a spaceship, not a white horse. For one. It ain't no white horse coming, bro. We came on the white horse. We the saviors that we've all been waiting for, until we step up to the plate and take some accountability and stop letting Jesus die for our responsibilities, because that's the way that it fucks with your psychology, whether you realize or not. Jesus died for my sins. Oh, wait, so I don't have to change? So I don't have to take any accountability for my sins? I just I just sell my soul telepathically to a being I've never seen, and then all I have to do is ask for forgiveness every Sunday for fucking molesting kids like these fucking Catholic priests. They can just molest and rape kids and then ask for forgiveness and blame it on some devil. It was some devil spirit. It was some molestation. It was some perverted spirit. It was the devil messing with my head. No, it was you and your own fucked up psychological shit that's in your DNA. Some perverted reptilian Anunnaki incest shit you got going on in your DNA, bro. And people keep talking about spiritual warfare and religion. It ain't no spiritual warfare. What you call spiritual warfare is psychological warfare. As long as you keep blaming on some spiritual entities outside of you and don't start taking accountability for your own psychological, your own psyche, your own thinking, you're going to keep battling that, because you keep looking outside of yourself thinking it's something attacking you and playing the victim role, when actually that's you. That's your demons. That's your fucked up thinking. That's your thoughts. Ain't nobody else. Ain't nobody else's. That's your responsibility, because you are responsible for your responses. That's why it's called responsibility. So hell no, the Anunnaki ain't coming here to save us. They've been the one enslaving us. They've been the puppet masters. We've been the puppets. We're here to break out of those chains. Both. Mystic, they're both. They're physical places, and they're They're light stargates. It's just a different density. If you go to that place in a lower universe, on a lower vibrational frequency, on a lower density, it'll be a physical plane. But if you up the frequency, you up the vibration, you go up a universe, you'll be in the same world, but it'll be on a whole different vibrational frequency, and things will be much more vibrant, much more lucid, much more telepathic and telekinetic, and the reality will just be much more fluid, and made more of light than density. And so even right here on Earth, right now, we're in this planet Earth. Well, there's another Earth right above our Earth on a higher frequency that's in a whole nother timeline. That, you know what I mean, if you went there right now, you might think you're in heaven. No, that's just Earth in the fifth dimensional frequency. That's just the 5D Earth. And past, future, and present all exist right now. So the 5D Earth already exists. And guess what? We are creating it with our minds. Right now, our collective consciousness is creating a morphogenetic field around the atmosphere of our planet for our planet to grow into. The mind goes before the body. The spirit goes before the body. So when you understand that we're all actually building the 5D Earth telepathic with our mind and our art and our dreams and our awareness for the Earth to actually grow into, because right now there's a few of us that know these things. But saying, I don't know how long it's going to take, but say it takes 5 years from now, 10 years, or 100 years, at some point, this will be common knowledge to every single being on the planet. And when that happens, we will be living in a whole different Earth, in a whole different reality, in a whole different timeline, in a whole different system. Do I think E.T.'s going to submerge? I'm not sure. Man, people are blowing me up right now. Do I think E.T.'s are going to submerge? Are you talking about, do I think ETs are going to show up in the sky? Do I think ETs are going to come up out of the inner earth? They already are. All you got to do is look up. I was looking up a couple nights ago, and I watched about 150 crafts portal in through the same void going the same exact direction. You ain't paying attention if you asking that. They're coming in right now. They're here right now. They've been in our sky right now. I literally, no bullshit, me and my friends, the other night were stargazing, and there was a dark void in the sky where there was no stars, and we just kept watching starships just come through, back to back, just come through, and they would follow each other in a line, in a straight line, and we literally, at one point, there was about 50 crafts just back to back in a straight line, heading towards Mount Shasta. I live right towards Shasta. It's a major base. There's a major government base there, and there's a major ancient Atlantean Lemurian base there, a Garthan base there. So they're already here. That's already happening. All you gotta do is look up and get your head out of your phone. When do you think the cabal will be fully destroyed? I'm hoping, I really stay in my interdimensional field, and it's my responsibility to make sure no matter what is going on outside of me, that I keep ascending, that I keep evolving, that I keep transforming and transfiguring and growing. So I try not to, I don't do the ignorance is bliss thing and act in denial and not pay attention to what's going on around me, but I let it naturally flow to me. I don't go out of my way these days looking for what Trump's doing and what's going on, because it's all up for speculation. I don't really know. But I do feel that, I definitely, since Trump has been in office, I definitely see a resistance that I did not see before. There is more of a battle going on in our government, where it does seem that in the government there's some kind of resistance where it ain't just going however they want it to go now. There's another side of it that's standing up and going, nah, we ain't taking your orders. It appears to me and feels to me that since Trump has got in office, there has more of a resistance. And so I do think that part of what this COVID-19 shit is, there's a lot of, that's what I'm saying, there's a major war and there's multiple sides. It's not even just like two different sides. There's probably multiple rebel sides to it too. So I think there's a lot of different governments and beings that have a lot of different agendas right now with this COVID-19 thing. I think one thing they're trying to get people to, I think they're trying to scare people into mass vaccination, getting everybody vaccinated with their new shit and nanites. I think another part of it is that the crafts are portaling into our sky right now, and they want us to stay in the house so we're not out in nature and we're not out stargazing and seeing the fleets that are coming in right now. And yeah, there's There's a lot of different things, but I don't really want to talk too much about that. But I hope what I've shared with y'all today is helping out and getting some clarity and raising your vibration, helping you expand and connect some dots. Now, let's look at some questions here. Thank you. Before I go. Here, ask, I feel like I'm wasting time trying to search through these.